Buffalo is going to win it, folks.
The Bills make me run. Kick your heels up and shout.
Let's see why the Buffalo Bills are en route to the playoffs.
Come on now, the Bills are making it happen now. Stand up now, come on and shout.
Buffalo Bills go undefeated. And we're going to the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Now, baby, come on, come on.
No one
Come on
circles the
and
wagon
shout.
like the Buffalo Bills.
All right, we are live, and we are back. Welcome to another episode of the Overdue Bills podcast, and we're back today. We're excited, jovial, elated, whatever word you want to use. We're here today, and we have a draft special, right? We have a draft special. Draft is coming up on Thursday, and it's a lot to talk about. Definitely a lot to talk about. Some would suggest, some would say that the draft is where winners are made. Some may argue against
They'll
it.
through the draft, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's what they say. And we're going to find out. So we're going to talk about it. But let me introduce the guys that are here today. And I'm going to start with my guy, Matt, a.k.a. Matty Ice. Matt, how you doing today?
Doing good, man. Doing good. Happy to be here. Definitely excited for the draft coming up, man.
Absolutely. And y'all see him, Rad. He, his glasses is kind of blue, but shout out to him.
Shout out to the blue tent. I got the blue tent on, man.
Shout out to the blue tent, Rad. How you doing, man?
Man, I'm doing great, man. I'm doing great. Happy to be here, having talk football. I got my first dynasty league, so I've been heavy. I kind of know some of these prospects because I'm trying to draft some of these rookies. Shout out to Mike D. He hung it up early. He don't even care about his dynasty league no more. 1 year in, he don't even care no more. But I'm sticking it out. I'm one of the best teams in the league. So I know some of these prospects. So let's go. Hopefully some of them end up on the Bills and on my team. Let's see.
Shout out to knowing the prospects. Listen, we got a lot to get to. A lot to talk about. So let me do this now. Shout out to Buffalo fan base. We appreciate the collab with them. Shout out to 26 Shirts. This collab has been going for a few years now, and it's kind of a match made in heaven. We appreciate it. It's actually going really, really well. And shout out to you. Shout out to all the listeners out there. We definitely appreciate y'all. Y'all been sticking with us. And listen, we going bigger and we going better than ever. And before we kind of get into the show and get into the nitty-gritty, Matt, can you do me the wonderful favor and letting people know who is our presenting sponsor for this show and moving forward for this season?
Yes, sir. This episode and every other episode this season is brought to you by the good people at AOG Cigar Lounge. AOG Cigar Lounge, located at 3495 Delaware Avenue, is the premier cigar lounge in Western New York. AOG has a welcoming atmosphere to all levels of cigar smokers. They have an amazing selection of all your favorite cigars and a massive selection of drinks to pair with your favorite smokes. Stop in today to get some work done, catch a game, or catch up with friends. Amazing memberships available. They have a lot of good things going on for this season and coming up this year. I want to talk about they have the draft all weekend long. Stop in and go see them this weekend. They have amazing bucket specials, and they also have amazing flight specials. If one of you guys want to put those up, so they'll have these amazing specials this weekend for the draft and pretty much all the time. And also be on the lookout. May 31st, they're going to have an amazing Cars and Cigars event. We'll be doing some promo for that, and it'll be a nice charity giveaway type of event. So definitely be on the lookout for that. We'll have more details for you guys as those come out. But check out AOG today and find out why they're the best cigar lounge in town, and they sponsor the best podcast in town.
Facts. Shout out to AOG for the re-up.
Absolutely, definitely shout out AOG. Where growing conversations and great cigars meet. Shout out to AOG, man. We appreciate them. Listen. Let's get into I'm trying, y'all. Let's get into the show. We talking needs, we talking pick predictions, we talking pipe dreams, man. There's a lot of pipe dreams gonna happen.
That's crazy.
That is crazy.
That was crazy.
But listen, like, share, rate, and review, subscribe, do all those amazing things. Please do that right now. Like, share, rate, and review. A lot of people is going to watch this on the playback, to get all their draft content as it relates to the Buffalo Bills. So please do that right now. Like, share, rate, and review. We really would appreciate that. Shout out to OverdueBillsPod.com. OverdueBillsPod.com. That's where you can find all Overdue Bills content, all Overdue Bills merch, all Overdue Bills everything. So shout out to the website. Go to the website. Go check us out. And with that being said, y'all know how we start every show with a quick question of the day. And I may have two questions, but primarily I do want to go with one question, and that's draft trivia. I do want to ask this draft trivia question, and I don't think that both of you guys are going to answer this because I had no idea what the answer was, but I'm going to ask it anyway.
Well, you're a fickle Bills anyway. You know what I mean? We got blood. We got blue blood. You know what I mean?
Okay, so let me ask y'all this: who was the last player the Bills drafted in the first round that made a Pro Bowl in their rookie season? So let me ask it again. Who was the last player the Bills drafted in the first round that made a Pro Bowl? But the caveat is their rookie season. Shout out to Dave, man. We love you too, man. Appreciate you as a listener.
Shout out my guy Shoot. Appreciate it, man.
So answer that. It's a tough question. I'm not gonna lie to you.
They went in the rookie year, huh?
They went to the Pro Bowl their rookie year, and they were drafted in the first round. One you probably should guess, but it's not him, but you should guess it.
Sammy Watkins is my guess, but it's not him.
But Sammy Watkins did not make any Pro Bowl ever in his life.
ever, yeah. I was going to say that was not even close to my guess. I know. I was gonna go. Let's see, first round. I was gonna go with Eric Moulds.
Interesting. Absolutely, no, it's not Eric Moulds
either. Okay, first round. It don't gotta be we think an offensive player. It could be a defensive player too.
Yes, first round. Yeah. He just had to be a first round pick. Just think of all the first round picks in recent memory. It's not that, but that's the one you should guess because he's kind of like. So I'm gonna give y'all one more guess, and I'm trying to throw y'all context clues. Like he's not an offensive player. No. But what I'm saying is the person that I want y'all to guess is not an offensive player. The person that it is may or may not be. You get what I'm trying to say?
The next person that comes to mind is maybe like a Trey White.
Okay, thank you. I was waiting for somebody to say that. It's not Trey White, but Trey White is like the closest person in the first round picks. Like when I went through it, he had pretty much the best season out of besides even be like Josh Allen. Josh Allen doesn't even come close. Yeah,
even he had a better season than Gilmore. Gilmore,
absolutely.
Absolutely. Gilmore sucked.
Gilmore was rough. Yeah, he was bad for us.
Yeah. So the answer to the question is,
he wasn't terrible.
Let me throw this out there. So the question was, who was the last player the Bills drafted in the first round that made a Pro Bowl in their rookie season?
Peerless Price.
What's the answer? It is definitely not Peerless Price either. So this is the answer. The answer is Greg Bell in 1984. Greg Bell was chosen 26 overall. Mm-hmm. He had 1,100 rushing yards and 7 touchdowns, earning him Pro Bowl honors and the NFL Offensive
He was a running back
of the year. Yes.
What year was this?
1984.
Okay.
It's a good year.
And listen, shout out to our other podcast mate, Mike. He always says never draft a running back, but clearly Greg Bell was a good running back draft.
That was a good pick.
Shout out Box. I've never heard that name in my life.
But also Greg Bell,
I've heard the name, but
in
not
1984.
The Buffalo Bills.
But 84, we wasn't even
we wasn't. We know OJ. Shout out to OJ. We know Thurm. We know.
Yeah, but I say he couldn't have lasted long because Thurm, Thurm was our running back in like 88. A couple years. We
was
Marshawn
a first round pick.
Yes.
Marshawn Lynch was the first round pick?
Yeah, out of Cal, yep. Him and Lossman, I think.
Okay.
So I just wanted to listen. Y'all know I like trivia.
That's a great trivia. Greg
Bell. Shout out to Greg Bell. If you don't know, now you know Greg Bell, 1,100 yards, 7 touchdowns as a running back, as a rookie. Not bad.
That ain't bad at all.
And listen, maybe we going in that way. I don't know.
That's something that when you a league in fantasy, a rookie that do that.
Listen, the reality is that as we move forward into the draft on Thursday, the biggest question, or one of the big questions surrounding our team, is James Cook. Now, history has taught us to not worry about running backs doing this because this happens very often. It happens all the time. The only person who was silly enough to do something crazy was Le'Veon Bell, and we know he doesn't have screws really tight in his brain. We all know that now. So in reality, like generally they try to hold out. It's a lot of posturing, but at the end of the day, he's under contract. More than likely, he should show up and play. But if for some reason he doesn't, or let me just ask this question, Matt, how do you feel about James Cook moving forward, right? Is he good enough for us to care in that way, or is it just simply, listen, next man up, it's a running back position, we don't care, get somebody in the third round, let's move forward? How do you feel?
You know, obviously James Cook, he's progressed into the top 5 talent that he is today, right? He's
top
that
5?
progression has gone there. But this position on the Buffalo Bills, I'm in the I don't care category, just because of the offensive line and how well they played. And then at the end of the day, we got Josh Allen, who is going to be a guy who can run the football. And we've shown that we can plug guys in, and they've succeeded in the Ray Davises and the Ty Johnson. Yeah, the volume and the production hasn't been as much, but if you're going to hold out and kind of bog the team down with that type of behavior, it is what it is. I don't really care.
I understand that position, right? Right. And the whole running back, especially our whole history as a Bills fan, we always find one, right? Whenever we, the Marshawn Lynch, the McGahee, even the Spiller days. We
Jackson,
always find a running back that can, give us 1,000 yards, 1,100 yards. And just to get his numbers, right? He had 1,000 yards on the ground, 1,009 to be specific. He had 32 catches, 258 yards on the ground. He had 16 rushing touchdowns, which was with Josh Allen on your team to have 16 rushing touchdowns is a lot. I'm not going. And he had add 2 more receivers, so he had 18 total touchdowns. And that I don't think touchdowns is something where I'm not paying you because you scored a lot of. I know that sounds crazy, but for a running back, that's fickle. That can go up and down. 16, he's probably never going to have 18 touchdowns again in his career, right? So the 1,000 yards, the 1,200 total yards he had, 1,300. I give him 1,300 total yards he had for the season. Honestly, it can be replaceable. I do like James Cook. I want to keep James Cook. I'm always an advocate of keep our guys, and that's what we've been doing. We signed Rousseau, we signed Shakir, we signed Elam. We signing our guys. We signing the guys that we drafted. So I'm always a proponent of that. But I do want him to get paid, but I also don't want him to get he's not a top 5 running back. I disagree. I don't put him in the top 5 category or getting paid like a top 5 category. But now I do understand that our cap has went up a lot, right? So giving a running back $10 million, $12 million right now isn't crazy. Consider it maybe 2-3 years ago where that was maybe top of the market, right? He's right. So if he get 12, 13, 14, 15, I'm not mad at that because the cap has went up so much. It fits right into where maybe like when Jahmyr Gibbs and Bijan and them boys come up, they're going to get probably 20, 22, 23. They might reset it. I don't think he's on that level of talent, so I don't think he should get that. But I think he should try to get the most money he can because, the next people are going to probably double him. So I think trying to get 12, 14, 15 even smart. I think you should try to do it for sure. Is he going to get it? We'll see. But I understand what he's doing and why he's doing it. So I'm not mad at him.
For me, shout out to James Cook. We didn't know that James Cook would even be this, right? And I think that we're going to talk about
He's on my draft board. I caught it.
What I mean by that is, I'm not saying that he did not have talent, but I think that his first year was kind of shaky, but he came on strong. But I think that what happened was James Cook talent in our offensive line. Our offensive line became a really, really, really formidable offensive line, top 5 in the league. Some would suggest to say,
yeah.
So that's very important as well. And I think that when we talk about positional needs, and we talk about the draft and how we're going to get to the next level, the next level is a Super Bowl, right? Like when we talk about that, then we're going to get into the nitty gritty, right? We're going to see really what we need and what we don't need, which is very, very, very important to our team. So, I mean, I think the James Cook situation will work out itself. I'm not really upset about it. I'm not mad about it. I think, it's a mere bag of shells. Like, bro, people want money. We're going to pay him some money. Just come back to the team and relax. Everything's going to be okay.
But I understand him trying to maximize that. Trying to get 12, 14, 15. Like 15.
As he should.
3 years from now, going to be like nothing, I think. You know what I mean? For running backs, honestly.
And the reality is we do pay our guys. Like we do pay our guys. That's something that we do. We generally pay our draft picks because being drafted so well.
Mm-hmm.
It's why this draft, I think, is very, 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 very important. And it's a lot that we need to talk about. So
hold on. You don't want to talk about us signing Trey White before we get to the draft? Do you is that something
you already know how I feel about that?
I mean, the fans are he back. Trey White, shout out to Trey White back. 1 year, some year up to $6, maybe up to $7 million, which is nothing.
Very incentive heavy, so that it's very, very team friendly. It's a low risk, high reward deal, I think.
Yeah, I know a lot in the group chat when he got signed, it went crazy. I know people, especially on Facebook or whatever, Twitter was going crazy, but I'm not mad at it. Right? It's a high ceiling. It's like a low ceiling, low floor.
Tre'Davious White does not have a high ceiling of anything. So
I'm saying,
let's stop doing that.
If he wants,
he's a veteran player. We brought a veteran player on our team.
Yes,
God bless him.
The best case scenario for Trey White is
let's help the next person. Yes.
Yeah, and if he's healthy, he in a system in a system that he played well in. That's it.
Yeah.
Right. If he's good, an inch of good. He's in the system. It's like confidence. That's all it is.
Yeah, it's like getting Michael Hyde, Jordan Poyer. Like I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it.
Yeah, Michael Hyde didn't play at all last year, so it might be the version of that. We'll see.
Probably, but I'm not mad at it. So it is what it is. I don't think it bears us to talk about it. Like I think it doesn't bear.
I mean, it's the name. It's Trey White coming back to Buffalo. That's what it is.
Yeah, exactly. So no, because I think it is important. I think that what they're trying to signal, honestly, I think that what they're trying to signal, even from what we've seen through free agency, because we did not go out and get a high caliber cornerback in free agency. We just didn't do that. We actually traded away a Kyer Elam, someone who we drafted in the first round, who had the quote unquote measurable 6'3", 4.3 speed, uncle played in the NFL, so on and so forth. He was supposed to be this guy, right? But just did not pan out to be that way. Yeah. Right, playing the SEC. All the press clippings of somebody to be great, but just did not transfer and happen that way. And with the pick that we do have, obviously we're drafting late because we're a good team. But I do want to ask a question to going into the draft. What is our mindset? And I want to talk about draft needs. Right, we are a Super Bowl contending team, so in theory, we don't necessarily need a lot per se, but just hypothetically speaking, Matt, if you was like, okay, what do we need? Positional needs, like going into the draft, this is what I actually want to get, or what we need to get.
For me, it is defensive line and secondary. Last season, we didn't lose because Josh Allen didn't get the 4th and 1. We didn't lose, because of questionable calls. We lost because a Kansas City team that couldn't score on anybody put up 32 points on us in the AFC.
The first time they scored over 30 all season.
So the blueprint of getting to what Philly did, get into the quarterback and having corners that can shut it down. Right, and that is what we need. That is defense. That's all I really care about in this draft is really defense, because I think Josh Allen, you could put anybody out there with him and he'll succeed. So defense is it for me for sure.
So defense, but specifically on the defensive side, what do we need? If that's what you're saying.
I mean, obviously, cornerback, is a weakness there. I think obviously Elam. Benford is a stud. We got Benford there, shoring up that second guy. But usually, you don't have too high priced cornerbacks. Usually, you got one, and you try to patchwork on the other side, unless you get lucky in the draft, which we did with Benford. It didn't work out with Elam. So we got a number one cornerback, and we try to make it work with the second one. And so it's a need? Yes, but it ain't a high. I don't think we in the red, like if it's a meter of green, yellow, red being the meter of need. I don't think it's a super need. Obviously, I want a cornerback and I want more pass rushing. I think Bean tried to address that. I know they suspended two of them, the D tackle suspended for 6 games. Shout out to Bean. I mean, I'm not mad at him. Come back ready to play ball, be great when you come back. So it's not a big red meter on the need. And on the offensive side, I want some speed, right? I don't think we're fast on that side. I think James Cook is fast when he gets in the open field. If he not healthy, he not healthy, right? I would love speed. I would love somebody that Josh can feel right. Remember when Smoke Brown was out, when that connection with him, where somebody he can go down the field with consistency and just reliable down the field. Be a 3-level offense. So that's the things I want. The needs per se, I would say, I guess cornerback, but it's not even blinking red for me. I know, that's what we all want because it's draft season. We trying to fix holes, but we don't have any blinking red needs, I think, on this team.
For me, I would say, like, okay, let's just say hypothetically speaking, not hypothetically, this is just facts. Christian Benford, Tre'Davious White, Teron Johnson, Dane Jackson, Jamarcus Ingram, Daquan Hardy, Cam Lewis. That's terrible, y'all.
That's terrible.
Right. No, it's not terrible, but
it's not much different.
What I'm saying is that is a place where we can upgrade. That's all I'm saying. Especially being at the position we are in the draft, you can upgrade your Tre'Davious White and Dane Jackson. I'm just saying, like, you can.
Yeah, but remember when Dane Jackson, Tre'Davious White were our quarterbacks?
Also, let me say,
remember when they was our 2 starting quarterbacks?
Yes,
do you remember that?
Yeah, in 2017. Yeah.
Okay, but what I'm saying is,
yes, I do remember. Yes,
we have the Trey White and Benford. We have that. We have our Trey White.
Okay, shout out to Trey White, but I'm not rolling. I'm not rolling on Trey White.
I'm not trying. I don't want to see like I'm arguing that we need to upgrade. Yes, but it's not like
you muted, Matt.
It's not like if we go into that season with this, it ain't like, oh my God, Bills is terrible. I don't think
I'm not. Matt.
So
we never had 2 elite cornerbacks ever,
and that's really what I want to try to get to, and that so D line and corner,
for sure.
The premier spots for me because I think our linebacker room is set. I think I take that back. Not just corner. I mean, we can get better. I mean, I think we can even get even better at safety. I know we got Rapp, and I know we got Cole Bishop.
Talk about
it. But I mean, how is Rapp going to be healthy all season?
Right.
Cole Bishop, he has to take that next step. It is what it is.
And Hamlin.
So bring in some top dogs that are some healthy competition. I mean, I think Bean said it in the presser today that stopping the guys D linemen. This is the deepest D lineman draft that he's seen. Interior D lineman, but stopping the run is good and all, but he wants guys that can rush the passer. So that is the exact thing that I want him to go look for, and I think there's a lot of guys in this draft that he'll have the opportunity to take.
Yeah, I agree with that. Every draft you should draft a deep DN. Somebody rushing the passer is just the most premier thing you can have.
For sure.
You can find if you can get in the draft and find even like some of these guys like the people we try to get, like a Henderson from the Bengals, like the Raiders. I'm having a
Max Crosby.
These wasn't first round picks. These people that's found in the draft, developed, and figured it out. So I think we definitely should be trying to get pass rush. I'm always going to say get a pass rusher, get more pass rushing, more pass rushing. You know what I mean?
I look at it like this.
That's going to ultimately help the secondary.
We gotta have a front four that can win with just the 4 of them because we play in such a talented QB division. Conference. That we're going to have to inevitably cover a lot of guys. So rushing 4 will be our biggest, key going forward in the season. When we play against a Joe Burrow and we play against a Pat Mahomes and we play against a Justin Herbert and Lamar Jackson, everybody like that. We have to be able to win with just rushing 4, just like Philly did in the Super Bowl.
But ultimately is what I'm saying is that I don't think anybody we get in this draft, we're going to depend on them. That's ultimately what I'm saying.
No, so at the position that we are in, no. they could be the missing piece. You know, they could be
Maybe.
the extra production that we didn't have last year in a certain spot that we really need. Like, you know, that's how. I mean, you look at the playoff game. If we had a top tier corner instead of Kyrie Elam, would Patrick Mahomes be able to attack that side as easy as he did? You know what I mean? And if Benford doesn't get hurt, next man up. If he's a solid guy, right? If we have another guy on that roster that could have stepped up and did that, that could have been the piece, right?
Yeah,
That's
but
how I look at it.
we're also in that position where we're picking 30, 20.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
what?
if we're not making that move,
I don't like that.
we're not making that.
Chiefs got McDuffie.
Our best players on our team, excluding Josh Allen, were picked later.
Yeah, like I mean,
you know what I'm saying?
Yes,
that's why. I mean, I don't know what you said that to say what. Like that's.
I'm saying that.
What do you think? We just talked about how our great players, come through the draft. I mean, we literally just talked about that. So I mean,
yes, they do come through the draft.
So this is what we have. And let me say this too.
But how of them have a straight up impact year one?
Christian Benford.
Yeah.
Yes,
right?
You're right.
Yes, Milano, Terrell Bernard.
Mad players, bro. Mad players. Like I mean,
they were good, but I don't know if they're
to suggest that. It's almost insane to even say that. Listen, the draft is something that we can use. Players can play. And worse, Matt said it, depth. Like depth. You do not know.
I agree. I agree with all that.
Let me say this. We've had much success as far as O-line non-injuries, right? Like our O-line has been pretty much healthy, but that's fickle. You never know. That could go awry. And what I'm saying is, as far as draft needs, we talked about cornerback, we talked about defensive end, or a rusher or defensive tackle, even though say he doesn't really care about run stopping per se. Everybody keeps talking about right receiver, but I think O-line depth is important. Like I think we need to bolster that. It's never a bad thing to have O-line depth. You never know what's going to happen and when it's going to happen. And people's O-line can get decimated, but to bolster that up is very, very, very important.
Linebacker depth, right? With Bernard and Milano injury history. I agree with
absolutely.
that. You could have all depth is always going to be a good thing.
And so I think that at 30 we can make something shake. You know what I'm saying? Bean is a good drafter, and even second round, third round, fourth round, he's not a bad drafter. Even in those rounds, we know that he can hit in a fourth round. He can hit in the third round. Shout out to James Cook. But I want to ask this question as it relates to draft day scenarios and those things. When we talk about mock drafting, right? When we look at it in a bird's eye view, people have put certain players with us, right? But I'm not gonna throw that out there. What I'm going to do is for the first round, we pick 30. For the first round, we pick at 30. Matt, if we stay at 30, Matt, do this for me. Give me the likelihood, percentage-wise, we'll either take a cornerback or D tackle. So 75% D tackle, 50%, you know what I mean, cornerback, however you want to slice that up. So give me that likelihood, and also give me the person who you want to draft at 30 if available.
Yeah, so at 30, if available, I think it's 50-50. I think we go either or. For me, there's two guys that I really like that are they could go earlier than 30, or they could go slightly later, but they're right in that sweet spot. They're right in the 20 to 40 pick range. But my guy, it's not really a bias, and I'm an Ohio State guy, but Tyleik Williams, defensive tackle out of Ohio State. He was a real disruptor at Ohio State. He rushed the quarterback. He dominated. So those edge rushers like Jack Sawyer and the Tuialupu, they could eat. So he's one of my guys. And then there's Walter Nolan from Ole Miss. The two guys they're pass rushers in D linemen. They're not Aaron Donald. They're nothing like that, but they're pass rushers in that spot. They're not just run stoppers and people absorbers, right? Corner for me, they got Trey Amos, who's a corner out of Ole Miss, SEC guy, 6'2". He gave up 45% pass completion all season long in the SEC. That's pretty good because they got some good wide receivers in the SEC. They played pretty well last year. And then there's another guy, Shavon Ravel from East Carolina. That is same thing. He's got those intangibles. Definitely two solid guys. If we stay there, and I have scenarios if we move up, if that's what you're going to ask next, but I'll let Rad go or let you go on.
Rad, do you have somebody who you pinpointing?
I don't think we picking. I think we trade. I think that's prime. I think that's prime.
You think we're going back or moving up?
I think we're going back. You know, I don't think
I'm opposite.
I don't think any of those guys are first round grade talent. I think any of those guys you can get in the second round. I'm talking about these people. I'm not talking about Matt particularly guy. I'm talking about these people in that range. I think it's only about 15 first round for me. I like that. I know. I don't think Bean is gonna go up there and get them. I think we're gonna be. I think that's when, like last year, wide receiver. People that want wide receivers will come up and move and get up a wide receiver. Maybe somebody come up and get Jackson Dart. Milrow might go that late, right? Somebody might come up and get a quarterback. I don't think Shador gonna drop that far, but maybe a Jackson Dart or a Milrow gonna be in those 30s, the late to 20s to 30s area. So I think we definitely gonna make a move to go back and get another guy on the next round, in round 2, early round 2, maybe mid round 2. I think all those guys the same. I think cornerback, D tackle. I don't know. I like some wide receivers in that range, but I don't think we're going wide receiver. But the people I like in that range, I don't think we're going to go there. So I think we trade it back.
Interestingly enough, as far as the draft selections, so we picked 30, but we also have 2 second round picks, 56 and 62. So which is important for us to kind of, look at. We have 2 second round picks, 2 fourth round picks. So we could do some shenanigans. Maybe Rad is right. We could move back. Maybe we could package those and move forward. But I think for me, if it's a person that I'm eyeing or that I've looked at in grave detail, his name is Maxwell Hairston. He's a cornerback from Kentucky. Yeah. For me, what I'm impressed about, he has a 4.2 speed, right? Mm-hmm. But the thing was, he had 6 interceptions over the last 2 seasons, but he returned 3 for touchdowns. Right? That's what caught my eye. Like that like playmaking on defense. Don't matter. Playmaking on defense, I'm with. Even if you go, special teams, whatever the case is, I like playmaking. You know what I'm saying? And if you can find a playmaker, somebody who can make something shake, then why not? I think at the end of the day, we're taking a flyer on anybody anyway. Like I would rather take a flyer on somebody that can hit than it's just like, try to go after, quote unquote, a Kaiir Elam type who is an archetype of something that we like, but may never ever pan out. Like at least I know that Maxwell Harrison, he got upside. He has upside.
I agree.
At worst, to return kicks, he got 4.2 speed.
I agree. If we end up picking somebody in the first round, I want somebody in the trenches personally. I want a D tackle O line because it's like obviously O line might be. You just not. It's like it's all right. We get it. We got it. But with the cornerback, it's like we're gonna the expectation for a first round cornerback, a la Kaiir Elam, Trey Whites of the world. It's just gonna be a lot on him, especially coming to this team that got Super Bowl bust expectations. So it's a second, third, fourth round cornerback who, if it's surprised, if it will be a surprise if he wins the job. I lean towards something like that than trying to put pressure on a first round cornerback. Then gonna come in, starting over Trey, starting over Dane, and thinking he's going to be the next Benford. And it's just a lot of pressure, especially on this team. So I want a D tackle O lineman, less pressure. I know that less pressure, and if they play right away is good, but we're not expecting neither one of them to have so much impact. So that's me. I want a big guy, somebody from the trenches. Whoever we deem to be the best one.
So here's the big thing that is like a dream scenario for me. You got a guy in a Will Johnson, cornerback from Michigan. Yeah. Lot of talk about his injury from last year. He missed 6 games, but they said that the short term his knee can be fine. But they're more so thinking down the line with his knee injury, how that's going to affect him down the line. I don't care about down the line. I want a guy that can plug in and be a number one guy right now. Will Johnson, before the season started, he was a projected either top 3 pick or top 5 pick. With injuries and the unknown of that, he dropped down. He's a 2-time All-American, won a national championship. He covered some of the best receivers that are in the NFL right now in his college careers. A lot of those Ohio State receivers, a lot of those Big Ten receivers, a lot of guys in the playoff, and he dominated in that role.
So how far you think we're gonna have to move up to get somebody like that?
They got him projected right now between 12 and 23. They got him going as far as the Packers at 23. Now, if we could package up and get to 15, I think we could steal him. I think that's a guy we can get. Now, what it would take to do that, I don't know. It'd be a lot, but like Sam said, we have 10 picks, and a lot of those picks are in the middle rounds. So you can package a 1 and 2 2s, and maybe something later next year, and that could be something that happens, and then whoever is that team in the 15, they end up with 3 picks.
Oh wait, so you think he's worth a pick swap and 2 2s to go get him?
I think
if you heard that 2 second-round picks swapping the picks, you'd be like, okay, we got Will Johnson.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. That's irrelevant. Like it's mere bag of shells. What difference do it make?
Yeah. Time out. Y'all talking from y'all talking from
no.
We draft picks. We want to draft players. Now we can package them all up to get.
I don't think it matters. When you're moving up and trying to get in a guy, it does not matter. It literally does not.
But to answer your question, right? Yeah, I would package a 1 and 2 2s because Bean, his history shows that he finds those guys in 4 through 7 anyways. So am I going to get my one guy that is going to be a home run pick, and then the rest of the guys will let Bean find some diamonds in the rough? And just now we don't need that many pieces on this team, but that type of piece is something that would be special, I think. So
I like Will Johnson. Obviously, like you said, he was projected top 5 pick. If he came out last year, I know, Michigan guy definitely.
Yeah.
But I mean, I would think that's a lot. I would think that's a lot. Giving up 2 seconds. Because I think, like you said, and our defense is such a scheme-based defense. It ain't just elite talent, right? We know what McDermott did with a Josh Norman. We know what he did with a Trey White. We know what he's currently doing with Josh Norman was the defensive player of the year. What are you talking about?
He's just gassing, bro.
Shut up, Sam. You know what he's talking about. he didn't know what he's talking about. Josh Norman was the defensive player of the year under Sean McDermott. Trey White, All-Pro. Christian Bifford, great. So the difference
between those guys and this guy coming in is you already have a solidified number 1 guy on the other side.
So why are we giving up so much to go get?
Because you would have 2 number 1 guys essentially, and he would be the number 2. You got a guy who could be a number 1 in your number 2 slot, and you're locking everybody up. And then you add a couple pieces on the D line in the mid rounds. I think that's a home run.
I hear you. I get it. I definitely understand what you're saying. I'm not trying to poo-poo that, but I would be like 2 seconds. I'd rather take somebody.
I'd
rather get 3 guys. I'd rather you draft 3 cornerbacks back to back to give up. You know what I mean? But that's me.
Roll the dice. It can go either way. But that's my, like I said, that's my dream scenario. That a guy like that, you hear about these guys every year that fall due to an injury. Like I'm thinking of like Nolan Carter a couple years ago, right? He should have been a top 5 pick. He got drafted at 20, and he ends up being a great player. So that's where I'm at with it.
Who?
Nolan Carter from Georgia.
Oh yeah. And we ended up with the Eagles, right?
Yeah, ended up with
Eagles get all those guys. Cooper DeJean, same thing, right?
But we can too, right?
Yeah,
but
this is a scenario where that type of guy falls.
Yeah,
I'll give up a little bit to get him.
Eagles didn't go up to get these guys. They fell to them and they drafted them. That's it.
No. They traded for him. He got drafted by Seattle and they traded for him.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Because he fell so late, so they were able to leverage some picks later on and got. That's what like I said. That's my dream.
Okay.
That's my scenario. But the other 2 guys would be good picks too. But this guy is my home run. You know what I mean?
Shout out to Will Johnson. No, he's a elite prospect. So I understand.
All right, so let me ask you this.
Do y'all think if James Cook isn't are we thinking running back at all 4th, 5th round if James Cook doesn't show up?
You know what? I wouldn't be surprised with the number of picks that we have. I mean, I
They
feel
say
like
this is the best running back class
I,
ever.
I,
or whatever.
and I agree because there's a lot of and there's
That's what
there's
they
a lot
saying.
of not I don't know about ever, but it's a deep
saying that.
it's a deep
Deepest.
class. You'll get a lot of high value running backs in later rounds in this draft. I think like with the Ohio State guys,
Junkins and Henderson.
Yep. And then there's the guy from Iowa, Arizona State, Cam
Caleb Johnson.
Scatterbo. Yes, all those guys. So there is some guys.
It's a lot of guys.
Mhm.
It's a lot of guys, and you got even ETN brother. They say he's like a 4th round guy, but he's good. They saying so.
Just
you got a lot of talent. Yeah. So I think don't be surprised if we do come out with just one in the 5th round, 6th round, just because how deep the class is. They saying like 30, 40 running backs might get drafted.
Yeah.
Let me ask this question real quickly. As it relates to sleepers or somebody who we haven't necessarily talked about, Matt, do you have anybody like that? And shout out to Jaheim. He said Benjamin Morris, cornerback from Notre Dame. I see that he's a sleeper as it relates to us. But do you have anybody like that?
Yeah. So my biggest sleeper in the draft is LeJontay Wester from Colorado. He was at Florida Atlantic before he transferred to Colorado. He broke every receiving record there. He's a Khalil Shakir type. He returned punts and kicks. He had a ton of yak, scored a ton of touchdowns, and even at Colorado, he scored damn near every game with that team. So he, with the Travis Hunters and the other guys on the field, he balled out. So they got him projected as like a 5th rounder right now. So I think that will be a Shakir type of steal.
I don't got a sleeper per se, but the two, guys, I want one of those Iowa State receivers. They got Higgins and then you got Jalen Noel.
Yeah.
4.3. Fat. I know that he a slot guy. I like Noel the most. I like him. He's fast. I know he's a slot guy, so I got kind of like compete with Shakir, but he don't play like Shakir at all. He's way more explosive. So I can see us trying to develop him somewhat more so on the outside, be a Diggs type where he can win down the field. Like he's fast, 4.3 guy. I know Higgins is the bigger guy, 6'4", but Noel, I like him a lot. I mean, I don't think we're gonna end up with him. That's what I'm saying. That 30 range is I think we're gonna trade away. He's gonna go in that 30 range. Maybe not. A lot of people got him in the 40s or something like that. Jalen Noel from Iowa State. Look great. Tape amazing. Quick first step in and out of this break. Love him.
Yep.
For me, Derek Forrest from Washington, safety. Cover, can tackle. I think he's better than Damar Hamlin. That's just me.
Hey.
But most people are. But so let me ask y'all this. As we kind of conclude this draft show. Matt, coming out of the draft, what would be a disappointment for you? Like, what does disappointment look like?
Man, I guess not getting a corner or D lineman within the first 3 picks. That would be a very huge disappointment for me.
Okay, right.
If we trade with the Chiefs again, any trade with the Chiefs is just bad juju. It's just bad juju at this point. Just don't stop doing it. So if we see the Bills and we see a Chiefs sign go up again, picking 30, I'm not saying that player is great. It's going to be great. Xavier Worthy, Coleman, even though Xavier probably had a better rookie year, obviously Coleman we'll yet to see. But just that juju of that energy, I don't want to see it. So Bean, don't pick up the call. I don't even know who's their GM. I don't even know, but don't pick up the call. If you see the Chiefs calling again, don't do it. It ain't worth it, man. Just trade with somebody else.
Yep.
I would say for me, if we don't get O-line depth,
What up, Joey?
D-line depth, I think that's a problem. Like, we should definitely come out with some O-line, D-line depth, another center. You know what I'm saying? Guard, like just beefy. Like let's beef up, right? Let's try to get as big as possible we possibly can, and maybe get but we'll see.
I'll let you go, bro. I'll let you. You know what I mean?
Listen.
I'll let you
So,
figure it out for yourself.
We are watching the draft. Is anybody going? Shout out to the AOG Lounge, man. Y'all need to go there. Y'all need to go to the AOG Lounge to watch the draft. Light one up, sit back, enjoy draft night with Bills Mafia.
Absolutely.
And with that being said, Brad, can you do us a favor? Can you put up that special for the AOG Lounge? Matt, can you talk about it?
Yeah, man. So definitely stop in the AOG. They're gonna, they got great cigars and they got these spirit flights and beer bucket deals. So very, very good prices. No beer buckets over $20. Some really good.
Yo, I ain't gonna hold you. I thought they were selling Spirit flights like Spirit Airline. I was like, yo, I don't know what's going on, but that's crazy. But shout out to Spirit Flights, man.
Now, depending on what level of bourbon or tequila or whiskey drinker you are, they have a great selection, and they've put together some really good packages if you want to try some new ones, or if you want to sip on a couple different ones to enjoy with your cigar, man. It's definitely a good deal. They're going to be open for all three days of the draft, NBA, all the playoff games, things that's going on this weekend. So definitely check those guys out this weekend for sure.
And if you gotta hop on a Spirit flight, you gotta do what you gotta do, man. You gotta do what you gotta do.
You definitely gotta do what you gotta do. Shout out to AOG Lounge. Definitely appreciate them for sponsoring this show. Shout out to Buffalo fan base. Shout out to all you all. We love all of our listeners. We appreciate you. OverdueBillsPod.com, OverdueBillsPod.com. Please go to the website and also go to Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Follow us on all of those platforms. Please, right now, go to Overdue Bills Podcast on all platforms. Follow us. We need to see you. We want to boost our, our stats, boost our algorithm. We're trying to get out there even more this year. We're bringing you hot content, great content. Next week, we're going to have a post-draft show. We're going to talk about it. Listen, we may have a special guest on too. Be on the lookout for that. Very, very, very special guest for you all. We're going to try to do that. And anybody else have anything on the draft or preliminaries going around it?
No, man. Let's just let's watch Bean cook, and let's hopefully they have another good draft.
Yeah, and Bean we trust, man.
Yeah, and Bean we trust. I think that's where we're at. I think 3 years ago, we was putting Bean feet to the fire. What are you gonna do?
I was putting Bean.
Yes, I was putting Bean feet to the fire. What are you gonna do? How are you gonna do it? But now I'm sitting back and I'm anticipating him to do a good job. Generally, he does a good job with the draft. Draft is not 100%. We all know that. Yep. But he generally does a good job with the draft. So shout out to Bean. Hopefully he's cooking up something right now. And I will give him this. He at least has a rationale for every single pick, like a real rationale that makes sense. Some people just doing anything. Like, I don't know what the Jaguars is doing. They're wild. But anyway, shout out to them. But listen, y'all know how we end every show with a little bit of that. Hey.
Only Buffalo is going to win it, folks.
Kick your heels up and down.
Let's see why the Buffalo Bills are en route to the playoffs.
Come on now, the Bills are making it happen now. Stand up now, come on and shout.
Buffalo Bills go undefeated. And we're going to the Super Bowl. Yeah.
Now, baby.